Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm bringing you my official League starter and how I managed to drop a headhunter with this build for Path of Exile 2 patch 0.4, and it's one of the smoothest builds I've played so far, Galvanic Shard Deadeye. This build is fast, explosive, beginner friendly, and requires zero expensive items to start strong. We'll go through skills, gems, gear, ascendancy, leveling route, and gameplay tips so you're fully ready for League start. So for the class we choose Ranger, and for the ascendancy we pick Deadeye. It got a pretty big nerf because Windward is no longer there, so we lose a bit of attack skill. But here comes the more interesting part. We now have a new ascendancy node, Mirage Archer, which works a bit differently than the one in the game. Instead of needing to dodge to activate it, now you just need to attack. It works like in PoE 1. Why did I choose Galvanic Shard? Well, because the fragments that come out of the crossbow interact very well with Herald of Thunder and create a chain explosion. The support gems for this build are Lightning Attunement, Fork, Ammo Conservation, and Mobility. And for our single target skill we have Shockburst Rounds, which unfortunately is only available at level 41, but as you can see, it has very high single target damage. That's why, together with Galvanic Shards, it's the perfect combination, especially when paired with its support gems, Elemental Focus, Close Combat, Elemental Armament, Deliberation, or Reikiata's Flow if you're lucky enough to drop it, which is huge for the build. If you're new to Path of Exile 2, and want to learn how Galvanic Shards work, this part is for you. If you're more experienced, you can skip this part. So Galvanic Shards is a lightning crossbow attack that fires multiple electrically charged shards in a tight pattern. These shards hit extremely quickly, shock enemies consistently, can chain or pierce depending on supports, scale incredibly well with attack speed, and flat lightning damage, and the result, a build that melts screens and shreds bosses without expensive gear. This skill feels strong even on a 3 link and becomes insane on a 4 or 5 link. So why did I choose the Deadeye Ascendancy? Deadeye is the best choice if you want a high-speed, long-range, precision-based ranged character. This ascendancy focuses on maximizing projectile power, mobility, and consistent DPS from distance. But because in 0.4 they nerfed it, they removed Windward, but they added 16% DR to the Tailwind Deflection node. They also added a very important ascendancy node, Mirage Deadeye, which will hopefully finally work like it did in PoE 1. Let's hope it functions the way it should. Gear progression: throughout Act 1, we'll level with Lightning Arrow. For the bow, you should look for a flat lightning damage to attacks and attack speed. Act 1 is the hardest act because it's very slow, and starting from Act 2 you can switch to Galvanic Shards. For gloves, if you need extra damage, you can add flat lightning on them along with resistances and life. For the body armor, you need resistances and flat evasion/energy shield. Try to get as much energy shield as possible, because it multiplies with what you already have on your equipment and helps with your effective hit pool. For rings, you absolutely need as much flat lightning as possible, and if you're having mana issues, look for rings that also provide mana. This build doesn't have major mana problems, so it doesn't really require mana leech on. Leveling guide for Act 2: transition into a crossbow. Look for damage modifiers such as increased physical damage adds flat fire, adds flat cold, adds flat lightning, attack speed, etc. For armor, continue to look for defensive modifiers, maximum life, strength, dexterity, intelligence, resistances, life regeneration, movement speed on boots. Pick up first notable ascendancy node, Gathering Winds. Starting Act 3, level 41, begin using weapon swap for crossbow and bow. Bow side will be used for shock, and crossbow nodes for crossbow. Bow modifiers do matter. Physical damage, lightning damage, ELE damage with attacks. You need good damage to shock rares/bosses with Stormcaller Arrow. Crossbow modifiers: increased physical damage adds flat physical damage, attack speed. Armor modifiers: maximum life, strength, dexterity, intelligence. For skill/support gems, resistances, life regeneration, movement speed on boots. Starting Act 4 is the same as the others, equipment upgrades become more scarce. Most things will stay the same as the tree progresses slowly, so as I explained earlier, these are the core stats of this build. always look for them, and you won't have any problems with the build. Early mapping, it's very simple. If you've managed to gather the items I mentioned, mapping is very straightforward. You could even say the build plays itself, just kidding. When you enter maps, you should focus on completing your Atlas progression so you can defeat the bosses, not on farming. You'll have plenty of time to farm once you reach tier 15 maps with full Atlas progression. I'd like to give you some tips for the beginning. Try not to kill every monster in the maps, especially during the campaign. Just focus on leveling, getting items, and finishing the campaign as fast as possible, because that's when the real game actually starts. The build is very simple, you just keep your distance and kill the monsters. It doesn't use many buttons, just one. Po2 combat isn't spammy like Po1, positioning makes a massive difference. Don't waste dodges, dodge at the right time, upgrade your crossbow/bow constantly. In Po2, weapon upgrades matter more than 3 passive wheels combined. And that's my complete Path of Exile 2 Galvanic Shards Deadeye League starter for patch 0.4. This build is fast, fluid, and takes full advantage of Po2's new combat system. If you enjoyed the guide, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more Po2 builds, drop a comment if you want the full passive tree, item planner. Good luck in the league, and may your lightning always find another target.